Hello, friend. I'm Ric Beattie. I'm the senior minister here at Unity of Royal Oak in Royal Oak, Michigan. And it is a wonderful day to connect in meditation. It is Wednesday, March the 9th, and it helps me stay regular with my spiritual practices as I share these Wednesday meditations with you. And I'm going to read for you again from Release and Renew 2022, A Spiritual Practice for Lent, which was published by Unity, World Headquarters at Unity Village. It's a wonderful booklet. We have some yet. There are some, if you're local to us, in our book nook, and there are some that we could mail to you or you could pick up on Sundays. So we're excited to get this into your hands because these are powerful readings, and spiritual practice is about doing something regularly, and I find that these booklets, along with Daily Word, make it very simple to adopt some renewed spiritual practices, some going deeper. Because certainly if we're going to experience the fullness of the concept of new life, new spiritual life of renewal at Easter, which is what the Easter journey is, a journey beyond and through death into the eternality of life. So you'll only get out of it what you put into it. I wish it could be some other way, but you have to do the work. Anyway, for Wednesday, March 9th, 2022, the affirmation is, I release my fear of moving forward. I release my fear of moving forward. You know, sometimes and I've recently had something come to an end, a conclusion in my life, and it's time for me to move forward, and I've been playing with it in my mind a little bit, and so I've been making peace with it today. It's just time to move forward. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It just is what it is, and it's powerful. So I'm going to read this piece to you, and then we'll talk about it. Nature moves the caterpillar to transform into a butterfly. We are similarly equipped for our journey of becoming. Yet, despite our God-given powers of imagination, understanding, will, and enthusiasm, too often fear holds us back. We are superb at manufacturing fears. Fear whispers that we might fail or would have us believe we are not enough. And boy, that not enough thing, that has many subtle flavors, many facets to it, like a diamond. I'm not enough, not good enough, not young enough, not thin enough, not smart enough, not educated enough, all of those things. Ambitions can seem too far a stretch, especially if confidence has been eroded by past criticisms or failures. We also have unconscious fears, the what-ifs hiding under the surface. What if I'm successful? Will people still love me? What if I have to move away from friends and family? What if they are jealous of my new life, job, adventure, and reject me? What if I want to take an unconventional path? What if it's just too risky? And that unconventional path really speaks to me, because the route that I took from when I first felt called to ministry until this day has been the most interesting, circuitous roller coaster of a journey. And yet here I am. We're celebrating 1 year ordained on June the 14th this year, so I got through it. Not sure how. Going on, we can make life decisions based on our fears, or we can deny the power of fearful thoughts to control us. We have a choice, like always, like with everything. You've heard me say it before. That's, I believe, one of the most powerful gifts of this teaching for me, from a New Thought and Unity specifically. I have the power to choose. I can choose. And if I don't like what I chose, I can choose again. Whatever you are going through, you can choose. And you can choose again. If you turned left and you should have turned right, turn right 2 more times and you'll be going in the proper direction. That's just the way it works. Releasing fear is another divine power we possess. The power of elimination, to let it go. Or renunciation, sometimes we call it. It is the power that pushes open the prison door that was never locked. It's the power that pushes open the prison door that was never locked. Think about that for a moment. So many of the things that hold us back, and I'll speak from my personal experience, so many of the things over the years that have held me back have just been me standing on my own foot or standing behind a door that I thought was locked. Locked by my concepts of it, locked by my ideas of it, not by the reality of it. Without fear, the weight is lifted and we can fly. And the Bible verse that was the inspiration for this piece, which was written by Reverend Leslie Miller of New Jersey, is Psalm 34, verse 4. I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. So, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? What is going on in your world that keeps you stuck? And it's a different thing for each of us, but there's some commonality to it, right? We get stuck, we get bound up, and often it's in the thinking. It's just a thought. We're one thought away from heaven or hell. In any moment of any day, one thought. I have watched it in myself thousands of times. And then the trick is not to just notice it or not to just see it, but notice it and interrupt it. You know what? I'm going to let go of that thought. I'm going to release that energy. And if I don't feel like I have something new to wrap myself around right in that moment, sometimes I'll just be open. I did a series during January, and one of the weeks was about living in a place of wonder. It was from Richard Rohr's work, The Naked Now. What if we were just able to live the question, just to hold the question with a sense of wonder? So again, what are you afraid of? And I just invite you to consider that and see what comes up. Because it's just going to come up in your thinking, and your consciousness. It'll float up, kind of like a apple. When you're bobbing for apples, it takes it a minute, but it'll float up to the surface. And then you can have a look and say, what is that thing that's been vexing me, the thing that's been holding me back from being and doing and having all the things I want to be, do, and have? There's nothing wrong with having things. There's also nothing wrong with being a certain way. You can show up in life. So many of us are just walking dead. And this year, as we kind of come to back into a sense of ourselves and starting to unpack some of this stress from dealing with this health pandemic, I think that we have a lot of healing work to do. And part of that healing work is to release. I release my fear of moving forward. Maybe you're afraid to get out and about again. Now understand, I'm not saying you have to do that. But sometimes we have to push ourselves a little bit. We've gotten into, it doesn't take us long to get into a new pattern, and many of us have been dealing with this for 2 years, so it's interesting, isn't it, how we reshape our habits in 2 years. So that's good news and bad news, depending on what you're, how you're thinking about it or what the issue is. So I want to come back to unconscious fears, the what ifs. What if I'm successful? How will it change me? Will they think I'm uppity? Will I be uppity? Will I be bougie and all of that, or just be myself? A long time ago, I wrote a poem in my early 20s, which is more than 40 years ago. Holy moly. I wrote a poem about being equally at home with princes and bums. Didn't matter. It didn't matter. So I'm playing a piece of music that I often use for meditation. It's called the Heart of Oneness. It was created and composed and performed by Gregory Barrette. He was a Unity minister, is a Unity minister. He's retired now. Was one of the many ministers that I have had the pleasure to work with. And he really amped up my interest in meditation. And so when I asked him a few years ago if I could use his piece, underneath meditations, he said yes. So this is the Heart of Oneness. And we're going to do a basic mindfulness meditation. Meditation is really just turning away from the outer world and turning to the inner. That's the simplest way. And I always think of this, and you've heard me say this before, give your mind something to do. Focus on something, your breath. Esther Hicks, in the Abraham Hicks material, talks about the air conditioner, the hum of it. In fact, there's an hour hum video out there you can use to meditate with. I sometimes and often walk, actually, and meditate while I walk, eyes wide open in noisy places, without listening to some music normally. So the basic concept is the same. Give the mind something to do. Bring yourself fully present to where you are right now, the mindfulness piece. Scan your body to notice, is there any stress or tension that you're holding, and release it. And then allow yourself a few minutes, focused, because meditation isn't not thinking, it's focused thinking. I thought for a long time it was not thinking. Well, don't think about your right foot. Where did your mind just go? To your right foot. So we just bring the mind back to the breath. Should you hear a noise that disturbs you, it could be coming from here or from wherever you are, let it just be a reminder to turn within. What does that mean, to turn within? We believe that each person has within them, and I love one of the books that Charles and Cora Fillmore wrote about it. I think Cora wrote it. Christ enthroned in man. The Christ in you, that presence in you. We are turning away from the noise of the outer world, and there is so much noise. And with the noise comes fear. And the constant, oh my goodness, did you see that gas went up 2 cents? Gas went up again, gas went up again. Well, that they say that often enough, it's like, oh my goodness, gas is going up again. I can't afford it. Cancel that. I release any fear of not being able to afford it. Lots of opportunities right now to make some side money, to switch jobs, to get a new job. I've never seen so many help wanted signs out there. So release the fear and lean into this time. What is your life trying to unfold? How is it unfolding for you? So again, scan your body, just noticing any tension, any anxious places in you, any tightness. Because so often we're just on edge. And maybe I'm speaking for Rick. And often I'm on edge lately. So when I catch it, I let it go. I just, oh wow, take a breath. Take a breath. So now we're going to take, speaking of breaths, we'll take 3 deep cleansing breaths together. Breathe in. Hold it. Sigh it out. Another deep breath in. Hold it. Sigh it out. Another deep breath in. Hold it. And release it. And now allow your breath to just become its normal pattern, whatever that is. Don't try to alter it or change it. Simply notice it. And allow your mind to focus on the breath. To be aware of the way it feels as you inhale and exhale. To notice how your body shifts, your chest expands. Just notice your breath. And allow yourself to be carried and held by the music. Allow yourself to be held and carried by that presence that is within you, that some of us call God. Some of us call life, call it the universe. Doesn't matter what we call it, as long as we call it. And I invite you to follow your next breath inward. And as you relax into the presence, into the power that lives within you, the power that is your life, as you notice that, allow your awareness of that presence and power to expand, to fill your innermost mental picture with joy and light and peace. Again, should any noise distract you or should your mind wander off, just bring it gently back by focusing your attention on your breath. And then follow the next breath inward. And each time you do that, go a little bit deeper inward. Excuse me. And that would be one of those disturbing things that distracts you. So now, follow your next breath inward and relax. With each breath you take, feel yourself becoming more aware that there is more to you than you ever thought there was. There's within you faith and strength, wisdom, imagination, understanding, the ability to release, the power to love. All these things and more. With each breath, relax a little bit more. Relax into the support that is here for you. And allow your mind to be fully present to this moment. To the sound of the music and the sound of my voice. To whatever task you've given your mind to focus on. And now I invite you to hold in your mind for a few moments the question, what, if anything, is holding me back? What am I afraid of? Just hold the question. Don't force anything. See what might arise. Well, that abruptly changed the music, didn't it? Sometimes I get too quick for my own good. Anyway, let's just kind of take a breath back into this meditative state. And let's hold the world in prayer. You see on the wall behind me is a picture of the globe of the Earth from out in space. I love that picture. You've seen it many places. I love it because there's no boundaries, there's no distinctions between countries, between philosophies, between religions, between colors or orientations. It's just one blue-green globe spinning, one planet. There's only one planet, there's one presence and one power. And we gather at the end of this meditation to bless the planet, to hold the concept in our minds that peace is possible. And that peace has to begin with each of us. So we love both sides in all of the conflicts that we perceive out there, Ukraine and Russia. We bless them both. We have no doubt that the vast majority of people are just wanting to take care of their families and live in peace. We join with them. And as we join with them, we amplify and magnify that vibration. And we continue to see globally the SARS-2 coronavirus declining in its effectiveness, efficacy, its effects on us, its influence on us, and the way we live our lives. We bless all of the care providers. We bless all of those people who are first responders. We bless all those who are beginning to emerge and rethink their lives and look forward to spring. And it is our intention to truly experience this Easter season, this new life season. And we begin right now in this practice. Thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. Friends, so delighted to connect with you, as I said. If you're just connecting with Royal Oak for the Unity of Royal Oak for the first time, I'd love to hear from you. You can send me an email to ric@unityofroyaloak.org. That's Ric, R-I-C, no K, at unityofroyaloak.org. Or you can call and leave a message here, 248-288-3550, option 2, which will get you into my voicemail. Whatever you're doing today, this evening, whenever you listen to this, whatever you're doing in this moment, remember that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is well. Oh, and we survive and can do this work because of your generosity. So if you're being guided, if you'd go to our website, unityofroyaloak.org, there's a button there that says click to donate, And when you get into the system, we'll process two different ways, Tidally or PayPal. Of course, you can send a check as well. But if you're going to use our online systems, note it's for the Wednesday. There's a little drop down, or put it on the memo line, and then I'd like to know what we should invest more time, effort, and energy in. Anyway, hope that you're having a great week. I hope that you will take advantage of this time to deepen your spiritual practices as we move together towards Easter. Namaste.